The title of today's talk that all of the speakers are kind of working around is In Search Of. So we're all in search of different things. We're in search of answers. We're in search of opportunity, purpose, vision, right? Honestly, I haven't gotten it figured out. It might sound like I do, but I'm constantly learning, I'm constantly searching. And today I'm kind of just going to talk to you a little bit about what I've figured out so far. It may work for you or not. So, yes. My name's Sophia Chang. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I do. I had a really hard time answering this question for a minute, actually. My studies were based in illustration, but as of late, I kind of just call myself a storyteller. I tell stories through art, through design, through creating an experience, whether it's marketing, whether it's creating a website, whether it's creating a magazine, creating product, creating, I don't know, clothes and sneakers and whatever. So that's a little bit about what I do professionally. And, there we go. So I'm from Queens, New York. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my history and how I got to where I am today professionally and just who I am. Just growing up in New York, in Queens specifically, it's a very ethnically diverse town. It's great. We have people of all different nationalities. I hung out with a lot of first-generation people, so it's actually really fun for me to be out here in the West Coast in California where there's a lot of, I guess, like Asian Americans who have been just like generation on top of generation. Their grandmothers speak perfect English. It's like totally weird for me. It's such a culture shock. Some of my early influences growing up, I'm the classic example product of the melting pot. So my early influences were hip hop, were rap. Shout out to Jin, the MC, you know what I'm saying? Glad to be out here with you. Sneakers, sneaker culture and streetwear culture has been just popping off as of late. But this was just something I grew up with. This was just, a lot of times people look at me, they're like, you're like an Asian girl, like, how come you're into this? It's just something that I grew up with, that all my friends were into. We were all listening to hip hop. I'll go to my friend's house after school to watch BT, Mary J. Blige, try to do the Harlem Shake in front of the TV, and my friend's sister would be braiding my hair, like giving me cornrows, and she was Korean. That's just how I grew up, I've always been very passionate about art. I've always been very passionate about drawing. It was a way for me to express myself. I was an only child. It was horrible. So here's some really embarrassing photos. This is where I'm from. These are my roots. This is me way back when. Got my Marc Ecko shirt. My first Jordan 1s. I had like a Logitech webcam. I don't know if Logitech is still around, but this is me. And this little sticker, actually, it was a nickname that I had when I was younger. My initials are SC, so phonetically it's like SC, and everyone would kind of graffiti and kind of tag, so I would make these stickers and stick them around school, and almost didn't graduate because of it. So, just trying to be a cool kid type of thing, just doing what everyone else did for the most part, had fun. So that was my background. Those were my early influences. That's what I did on my free time. So right about college, when I was about to, go to college, I had to figure out, okay, cool, so what am I going to do? I would love to pursue the arts. My parents totally wanted me to be a doctor, a lawyer. It was really hard. And like any high schooler, we have no idea what we were doing. We're just hoping we do well on our SATs, and then that's it. Also, I photoshopped my SAT scores. So yeah. Thank you. Oh, okay, that's nice. So find your niche. So, went to school, went to Parsons School of Design, studied illustration. I realized that my true passion was actually drawing. I just loved drawing. Went into school kind of with an open mind. I was very fortunate where my parents were able to support me through college. I studied my undergrad there, and I wanted to make the most out of my time, actually. My parents worked so hard, to be able to support me. And the least I can do is kind of pay attention in school, right? And get a good job when I graduate. So during my time there, I did a lot of internships. Every few minutes I had, I was either taking full classes, auditing classes, meaning I would try to sneak into different courses and stuff like that and learn extra skill sets on top of just illustration. I would learn about web design, coding, print design, all of that. So I studied at quite a few internships. I studied with a fine artist named Ryan McGinnis, so I did silk screening on the side. I interned at Complex Magazine in the art department, just little Asian girl in college, was interested in hip hop, interested in men's fashion, wanted to apply my skill sets that I was learning in school into an area of my own personal focus. Worked in fashion. Studied under a guy named Peter Chung, shout out to him, and kind of learned about the ins and outs of fashion design. So I was always into streetwear, graphic tees, whatever. So through that internship, I learned how a design is created, how it is applied onto a t-shirt, what that back-end production process looks like, and it was just great. There's no price tag that I can ever put on everything that I learned in these internships, and I'm so blessed and so humbled to have been given the opportunity to study under some of the people that I studied with. Was that all I did? I think that was it. Yeah, so that's what I was doing when I was in school. So by the time I graduated, I had a whole roster of clients and kind of, I guess you can say, a made-up full resume of people that I had worked for. So when I was really young, I kind of just hit the ground running, and I was out on the market. I'm all right, cool, let's do this. Let's try freelance for a little bit. And freelancing in New York City is very tough. And of course, your Asian parents, after putting you through a private school, their college, they're are you gonna get a full-time job or what? So what ended up happening was I found a job on Craigslist, and fast forward, I was basically waking up every day, and I was yo, I studied so hard. I worked so hard when I was in school, and I was making $22,000 a year. I was waking up every day, and I was really unhappy. And when that hit me, I realized I'm worth more. I know I can do this. I know I have way more talent. I was just confident. I knew that I had to take the risk, and plus I'm young. Might as well do it now, right? So that was me at that point in time, right before I quit that job and tried freelancing. So freelancing was kind of rough. It was my kind of starving artist phase, and I loved it. Looking back on it, it was counting quarters. It was laundry money that I was using to take the train in New York to go meet a potential client. But I also had an attitude where I wouldn't take no for an answer. I wasn't going to sit around and wait for opportunities to come to me. I was all about, and still am, all about creating opportunities for myself. So, got my education, was kind of working, and I'm going to talk a little bit about finding your flow and creating goals for yourself. Here we go. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of my projects that I've been working on, my most notable projects. And there's a story behind each of them, so I'm really excited to share it with you. One of my first big breaks was working with Anthony Bourdain. How did I get this? This is through a homie of mine who is an aspiring rapper. Shout out to Rex Dizzy. And he was he's that guy who drinks recklessly, and he's such a liability all the time. But through friends of friends, just being a positive person in the creative community, I was able to get in touch with someone who was working in production with Anthony Bourdain. And initially it was a free gig. Hey, we need an illustrator, would you be down? Did it, it was cool. Travel Channel hits me up, and they're yo, we love what you do. Can we have you come on board for an entire season? So I just threw a random number out there. I have no idea what I was doing with pricing, but the whole story behind there was, had I not walked in through that first door to be able to just kind of let me just try this out, and not kind of focus on the money, but focus more on the opportunity and where that may lead to, I would have never gotten this huge Travel Channel gig. And what ended up happening was Anthony Bourdain, we did this whole TV interview, and he said my name a million times, and all my friends were freaking out, and it's just a good opener story for me. as of last year, I recently released a collection with Puma, and it was a collection for men and women, apparel and footwear, and it started out actually just on a vacation trip. I went over to Japan and was just like hanging out. A friend of mine was like, yo, this guy's gonna take you around, you know. It was just through friends of friends and kind of kept in touch. And then a year later, I got this call all of a sudden that was like, hey, Sophia, can I talk to you about a project? Yeah, let's set up a call. Next thing you know, it's a call and like all these other, I guess like execs over at Puma are pitching me this collection idea. So granted, I'm very blessed to be able to just have these opportunities fall out of the sky, but I don't think things happen for no reason. I think doors close and doors open. Ooh, time, all right. So, gonna click through, show you a little bit of the collection. So, I mean, you can just find all that stuff online. So these are some of the sneakers. So it's great, I'm able to work in fashion. Like that was my dream growing up for a minute. And then this is another notable project, working with the NBA. That one was actually kind of a heartbreak initially because I had this awesome opportunity to work with them, and it was my first time working more so as a business and stepping outside of kind of just being an illustrator and designer and actually handling more so the production. So what happened was my vendor had quoted me something, and then last minute they changed it on me, which happens, it's business, right? And at some point I had to decide, all right, cool, do I still take this job? Or do I like tell the client, the NBA, like, hey, my vendor kind of screwed me over and I'm actually not making any money on this project, I'm sorry. So I decided to take the hit so at least I can put this in my portfolio. And I guess for me personally, that was just such a big step in my career because I had to make the call of, again, choosing money or building towards something, building a client relationship, and further adding another project to my portfolio. So that's just a cute little illustration slide, you know? So really quickly, what lights my path, right? I'm gonna tell you a little bit about what keeps me going, what keeps me motivated. And in this part, I was kind of just gonna spitball, really. Just gonna go to the next slide, actually. 3 points. Fearlessness, community, and heartbreaks. Those are kind of like the 3 points that I would leave you guys with. Fearlessness. Everyone's different, really, but I've always been more so of a confident person. I think it's important to kind of trust yourself, trust your education, trust your own background, and just go for it. You know, that's one of the big things that everyone here today was kind of talking about. It was so cool just hearing all the speakers from all these different backgrounds, different practices, different talents, but there's a lot of things that we have in common, in case you haven't noticed. We're not scared of taking risks. You know, what's the worst thing that could happen anyways, you know? Or just, you know, maybe living in the moment and just trusting yourself, following your gut. And the guy, I'm sorry, I forgot his name, but the guy who just spoke, it was so inspiring to hear him talk because he was so passionate. He was so passionate about gaming, about teaching, about fostering that community, right? That leads me into community. Ooh, smooth. Community, right? It's really important for me. Like a lot of times people are like, oh, what keeps you inspired, blah, blah, blah. I'm so fortunate and so blessed and so humbled to have just an amazing community of people, close friends who inspire me, who challenge me, who motivate me, who criticize me. People, I guess, I don't want to call them fans, but I guess supporters, people who follow my work and are constantly encouraging me. And also, shout out to the bullies on Instagram, though. Community, right? Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who push you, who inspire you. And that goes across the spectrum. And another thing I wanted to add, too, was just being open. You know, a lot of times people, again, are saying, like, how do you stay inspired? Just because my focus is illustration or fashion or whatever, I can find inspiration anywhere, from being in nature, from having a beer with a friend, being with family. Like, be open, you know, have your heart and have your ears, have all your senses open to creativity. It's all around you, you know. God made it that way. And then lastly, heartbreaks. In the recent years, not that I've been in the game for that long anyways, but there's been heartbreaks, and I don't think that's something that should stop you from moving. I think it's just another bump on the road, and it takes practice. It takes heartbreaks to be able to move past the heartbreaks, right? And yeah, like I had the one job from my dream client that I got last minute, and then things fell through, and I cried so bad. That was like the first time I've ever been so emotional over a job, because I'm usually like, yeah, whatever, on to the next, I'm good. But yeah, heartbreaks exist, and I don't know what really is the best thing to say, but just keep going, man. Don't stay still. Don't stay idle. Yeah, that was a horrible, horrible way to end. All right, here we go. Here we go. A quote to leave with you guys. This is something that I had read somewhere on the internet that I really liked, that Kendrick Lamar said. He said, "When the opportunity presents itself, it'll put you in a place you never imagined." Wow. That was good. Because I actually, just to share with you a little bit about my personal life, where I'm at right now, I've been born and raised in New York, and I recently decided to move out to LA. Initially, it was just to escape the winter. And then the sun got to me, and I was like, yo, maybe I can be out here, Let me just try this out. I got New York. New York's cool. I'm comfortable. I know everyone. I know where I'm going and whatnot. And I'm out here in the West Coast. I'm taking a risk, because financially it's been weird moving out here. But taking a risk, following my heart, and just trying it out. I'm kind of eating my own medicine here, kind of just telling you guys, taking risks, and literally I'm living it every day, so that's pretty exciting. And so, it's being smart and being fearless, and just having confidence in yourself to be able to walk through open doors. Yeah. Thank you.
And if y'all want to follow me on the internets, we out here.